And hello everybody, welcome back to LFC News. There's been a lot of talk about Dominik Szoboszlai over the last 24 hours. People bringing out revelations that Real Madrid is of course his dream destination to go on and play for. And we've seen this story play out quite a lot. A lot of European players, South American players all have the ambition to play for Real Madrid one day or Barcelona, namely Real Madrid. Real Madrid has been a bit of a thorn in our side when it comes to players leaving, or, of course, losing out on our transfer targets due to them wanting to go to Real Madrid themselves. Now, Dominik Szoboszlai has been absolutely fantastic since joining Liverpool Football Club, and it's turned out to be, funnily enough, a bit of a utility player, funnily enough. He can play all over the pitch. He's effective in the middle of the park and, of course, playing out in a fullback position, which I found quite extraordinary, because when he does play there, he doesn't look out of place. And certainly as a player for the future, still very, very young in football terms. Now, Arne has made a big claim about Dominik Szoboszlai, and I want to go through with that with you in today's video. But first, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more. So what's happening here, guys, is that Arne agrees with increasingly widespread opinion that Dominik Szoboszlai could be a Liverpool captain, but he says there is still a key next step the midfielder must take. At 25 years old, Szoboszlai has stood up often on his own as a shining light in Liverpool's struggling team. He has stood above the others, driving the team forward, whether from midfield or right back, and carries himself with presence that some have compared to Steven Gerrard, though it could be largely down to the number 8 on his back. After Szoboszlai scored against Brighton, Slot was asked if he thinks the Hungarian has the attributes to be a future leader or a captain. Yes, but he's still young. I think he has a lot of attributes already, especially when it comes to leading by example. But there's still a step to make in terms of leadership, being vocal, being a voice in the dressing room if I compare him to that of Virgil van Dijk, which is completely normal because Virgil is 34 and has been seen probably James Milner and Jordan Henderson and these kind of players. So it's really good for Dominik that he sees Virgil as well. That would be the next step for him, to be vocal and as loud as Virgil is. That comes with time, I think, but for all the other things, he has a lot to become a very influential player for Liverpool, and you could call that a leader. So, yes, this is good, and there's two routes that Dominik could go down, and we see this path played out from Liverpool players time and time again. Is that, do they see themselves being the captain of this fine football club, going on to win trophy after trophy and staying loyal to the club? Or do they see this as a situation? Real Madrid, could they say that one day that he would want to go there? If Real Madrid came knocking, would he turn the prosperity in the future of being the captain of this football club to go on and play and just be another player for Real Madrid? Well, usually there's only been one player really that's turned that down, and that has been Steven Gerrard. But yeah, it's interesting to see, because I would love to see Dominik Szoboszlai stay for the long term. He's not even reached his peak yet, which is also very, very frightening. But what do you think? Is he a future captain, or will he join the list of other Liverpool greats that have just went on and gone to Real Madrid as their final step? Let me know down there in the comments.
In other news, Arne has offered Liverpool supporters a cautious sense of optimism after providing an update on the injury suffered by Endo, revealing that there remains hope the midfielder could return before the end of the season. The concern around Endo's fitness emerged during Liverpool's narrow 1-0 victory away at Sunderland last week. While the result itself was viewed as a positive step forward, it was overshadowed by the sight of the Japanese international being stretchered from the pitch after an awkward landing that appeared to severely affect his ankle. The immediate reaction among supporters was one of anxiety, with many fearing that the injury could bring a premature end to Endo's campaign. Given the seriousness of the incident and the visible discomfort he was in, questions were quickly raised about whether he would feature again this season. Speaking to reporters, Slot sought to strike a balanced tone, neither dismissing concerns nor ruling out a return. He explained that the medical staff are still assessing the full extent of the problem, and that recovery timelines can vary significantly depending on how the injury develops. There is definitely a chance, Slot said, but he will be out for a while, and we cannot say exactly how long yet. That is sometimes different with every injury. Sometimes you can make that diagnosis straight away. Sometimes you need a few more days to see how things develop. And that last thing is with Wata. He will not be in the squad next week, and he will not be in the squad next month. But we're hoping that towards the end of the season, he has a chance to be there with us again. But that also depends on the upcoming days where that will lead to. When pressed on whether the ankle might be broken, Slot responded with a touch of humour, admitting uncertainty. "We don't know yet, it's the first lie I've made over here," he joked, underlining how inconclusive the early assessments remain. While the update does not provide any firm guarantees, it does offer encouragement. The possibility of Endo returning before the season's conclusion would be a welcome boost, particularly given his growing importance within the squad and his popularity among supporters. At 33, Endo remains under contract until 2027, but his long-term future at Anfield is already the subject of quiet debate. With Liverpool continuing to reshape their squad under Slot, there may be temptation to consider younger midfield options in future transfer windows. This season, opportunities have been limited, with his only Premier League start coming against Sunderland, highlighting the challenge he has faced in securing regular minutes. Nevertheless, Endo's value has never been measured solely by his number of starts. His professionalism, reliability, and willingness to contribute whenever called upon have made him a trusted figure in the dressing room. Late-game cameos, disciplined defensive work, and calm leadership have been hallmarks of his time at the club, traits that were especially evident during the latter stages of the Jurgen Klopp era. For many fans, it would be disappointing if the Sunderland match were to prove his final appearance in a Liverpool shirt. A return before the end of the campaign would not only strengthen Slot's options, but also allow Endo the opportunity to sign off on the season on his own terms. For now, the focus remains firmly on his recovery. The coming days are expected to provide greater clarity, with further assessments likely to shape Liverpool's planning for the run-in. Until then, supporters will be hoping that Slot's cautious optimism is justified and that positive news is still to come. Ultimately, the coming weeks will be decisive for both Wataru Endo and Liverpool. While Arne Slot has been careful not to offer false reassurance, his comments suggest there is still genuine hope that the midfielder can play a part before the season draws to a close. For now, patience will be required as medical assessments continue and recovery plans take shape. If Endo can return in time, it would provide both a timely boost on the pitch and a fitting reward for a player whose commitment and professionalism have never been in doubt. Until then, Liverpool supporters will wait anxiously, hoping that cautious optimism turns into positive news. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. We post all the latest Liverpool news every day, so join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.